Hi yogis, my name is Henrika and I will be teaching this moving meditation class today. For this particular class, you will need a mat and you will probably need a folded blanket or a pillow just to add some comfort in your practice. We'll begin with a seated meditation, so come to your comfortable seated pose. You may sit cross-legged, you can sit on your knees, you can even sit on a chair. Choose your spot where you want to be, where you want to get started with this practice. So in this practice, we'll begin with a seated meditation. We'll find something that we could start letting go of in our lives. We'll start moving our bodies very gently and with an intention. And then we'll also seal this practice in with another meditation. So let's get started. I hope you're comfortable. Roll your shoulders back and down. Let your spine be very tall. Take a few rounds of breath. You're here on your mat, breathing. This is the safest place possible. So often we come to our yoga mats to exercise. Today, let's exercise. So you may close your eyes if that feels comfortable. You can let your hands rest gently on your thighs. Just start noticing what's happening in your body as you breathe. Anything from the sense of air in your nostrils, your lungs expanding and contracting, your diaphragm shifting. You can even notice subtle shifts in your pelvis or your lower back. Perhaps you notice how you hold your facial muscles. Notice how it feels like to be sitting here, how it feels like to be breathing. And now that you've managed to find this time to practice, to sit with yourself, take this opportunity and just for a moment, choose a period of time in your life. Perhaps it's 2 months, 3 months, or more years or months, time period that you would like to reflect back on. And really start watching the movie of your life. Now, as you watch that main character of your movie, really fall in love with that main character. Watching them as they go through the trials and tribulations, the challenges, any deep emotions. And if you have a tendency to beat yourself up or in any way be negative towards yourself, watch the movie of your life and just root for the main character. Understanding that they're doing the best they can given the circumstances, that they're flawed, that perhaps it's been a long way for them to get where you are today. And there has been so many things going on. Now that you've had this chance to watch the movie of your life, perhaps it's been 2 weeks, several months, or several years in your history. Start returning back to this moment by focusing on your breath. In today's practice, we'll be focusing on something that you would like to let go of. So we're all holding on to things that don't serve us anymore, perhaps a memory, a habit, or something that we do constantly, a thought pattern that doesn't serve us anymore. So perhaps use this opportunity to start releasing the grip that your mind has on this habit, memory, or a thought pattern. If what you hear rings truth to you, allow it. If it doesn't, let it go. So, according to Chinese medicine, those things that hold us back are contained in the lungs. Those memories, those fears, all those things are contained in the lungs. And also, that's where the source of our inspiration and well being lives, in the lungs. So today we're breathing especially into the lungs to release those things that are holding us back. In this practice, I want you to hear me, what I'm saying. But first of all, I want you to listen to your body and move your body in the way that it needs to be moved. Again, notice your breath. On your next inhale, reach your palms up toward the sky. Exhale, bring your palms to touch in front of the heart center. Perhaps closing down the eyes for just another moment. Remind yourself of that one thing that you would like to let go of, one thing that you would like to release. Perhaps it's a frustration, it can be a memory, a feeling, anything that you would like to let go of today. And with that in mind, let's move into our tabletop pose. So come to your steady tabletop pose, index fingers pointing forward, fingers widely spread. Knowing that if your wrists are aching here, you can always move your weight more towards your knees. You can also bring a blanket under your knees or your wrists, just to add some little softness and comfort. Breathe here. Now, look back and start moving your big toes toward one another. And for your child's pose, I would like you to bring your knees either closer toward one another or further, depending on what feels good in your body. And for this one, you may move the blanket between your buttocks and your heels, coming straight to your child's pose. It can be wide-legged or narrow-legged. Reaching your arms forward, letting your belly be loose, relaxed. Breathe here. Now start moving your right palm towards your left palm and reaching with that right hand forward. Your forehead can come towards the mat. Now, as you reach forward with your right hand, you're giving yourself a nice side body stretch to the right side. Breathe especially into your right lung in this pose, creating space, letting go of the old. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, start moving your right hand back where you found it. Take one breath in here. And as you exhale, gently move your left palm towards the right. And now placing left palm on top of the right one. Reaching forward with the left hand, creating that nice side body stretch now on the left side. Forehead can come towards the mat. Breathe here, filling up the left lung, emptying it out as you exhale. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, bringing your both hands forward. And from here, let's start moving ourselves towards our tabletop pose. Now, wherever your knees were, bring them back to hip width distance. Your palms can be shoulder width distance. Again, you can use the blanket under the wrists or the knees. Your toes can be tucked or they can remain straight like mine. Let's do some cat-cow movements. On your next inhale, let your belly go loose, lift your chest, lift your forehead up toward the ceiling. Exhale, press the floor away with your hands as you roll, as you round the entire spine, bring your gaze between your legs. Inhale to lift the chest, cow pose, relaxing the belly. Exhale, cat pose, rounding the spine, letting neck go loose. Inhale, one more cow pose. Exhale, cat pose, rounding the spine, pulling the belly gently in. And then returning to neutral tabletop pose. For the next one, bring your weight towards your left palm, onto your left palm and your both knees. On your next inhale, reach your right palm up toward the sky. Exhale, bringing that right palm behind the left, placing your right shoulder towards the mat. Perhaps the right ear lowers towards the mat as well. Staying here, or you may come to the fingertips of your left palm, or you may bring your left hand to your lower back. Wherever you are, continue breathing. And in this pose, breathe especially into your left lung. Seeing if on each inhale you can inhale a little more. And on each exhale you can exhale a little more. Letting go a little more each time. Now start bringing your left palm towards the mat again. Press your left palm firmly to the mat, lifting that right shoulder And then slowly placing your right palm against the mat. You're in tabletop pose. Now bring your weight towards the left palm. Right palm. Inhale to lift your left palm up toward the sky and bringing it behind the right towards the other side. Your left shoulder can now perhaps rest on the mat. Your left ear can come towards the mat as well. Same options apply. You can either come to stay your right palm planted, or you can come to the fingertips, or you can bring your right palm on your lower back. Always listening to your body as you move. Breathing into your right lung. Using each exhale as an opportunity to let go of what no longer serves you. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, bring your right palm to touch the floor if it's not already. And press the floor away with your right palm, returning back to your tabletop pose. As you're here, tuck your toes under, push your hips back and up, coming to your very quick downward facing dog. We're not staying here for long though. We're walking forward, coming to our forward fold. So keeping the feet hip width distance, bending the knees a lot. Now, letting your neck go loose. You can grab the opposite elbows. You can even sway from side to side. You can shift your weight towards the toes and back towards the heels. Breathing here. Now I would like you to bring your hands to your hips. Bend your knees if they are not already, and then with strong, straight spine, start lifting yourself up. Slowly also straightening the knees, coming to your mountain pose. Keeping a tiny micro bend in your knees to use the entire area of your both feet. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Stay here in your mountain pose for a few rounds of breath. Just feeling any sensations in your body. Again, noticing your breath. Noticing perhaps the heartbeat, the temperature on your skin. As you're ready, start shifting your weight towards the left foot. We're preparing for tree posture. Hands can come to your hips. Lift your right heel off the floor, placing your right heel against the left shin on the side. Option to come next to a wall and place one of your palms against it. And just using that as your support here. We're staying here for some time, so find somewhere where you can stay. Also, you can lift your right foot against your left calf muscle, or you can lift it against the left inner thigh. Option is yours. Your tree may be wobbly today. Don't worry about it. If that happens, just find somewhere, steady gaze somewhere in front of you, using some steady point to help you balance. And also, if you fall, just get back to where you started. Your hands can stay on the hips, or you can bring your palms to your heart center. Again, reminding yourself of what you're letting go of. What is that thing that you're releasing today? With all these long and steady exhales. Knowing that letting go doesn't have to mean that you forget the memory or the feeling for the rest of your life. It can mean that you're just letting go of the grip that it had in the mind. And you can let go with caring and love and deep appreciation. Now, as you've been balancing and strengthening your body for quite some time, you're ready probably to bring your right foot slowly towards the mat. Staying here for just a couple rounds of breath on your both feet in your mountain pose. Then shift your weight to your right foot this time, lifting your left heel off the floor, placing the heel against the right shin. Option to stay here, find that wall, or you may lift your left foot higher against the right leg. Hands can be on the hips. You may feel more wobbly on the other side than the other. I know I do. Hands can stay, or you can bring them to the heart center. Breathing in and breathing out. You may find it helpful to press your legs toward one another. And by doing that, finding more balance, creating even more strength in your legs. You can gently squeeze your buttocks. You may be able to open your left hip a little more. Take a couple rounds of breath here and we're almost done. I'm shaking. On your next inhale, bring your left knee forward and then place your left foot down against the mat. Now come back to your mountain pose. Your hands can rest on the sides, palms perhaps facing forward. Bend your knees just a tiny bit and breathe. Now we're going for a chair pose from here. So your feet can stay hip width distance, or you can bring your feet closer toward one another. Bring your hands to your hips first. Take one breath in. And as you exhale, start lowering your buttocks down as if there was a chair behind you. There's not a warning here, so don't go all the way down. Stay here, breathing in and breathing out, creating strength again in your legs. Staying focused, breathing in and breathing out. Your hands can lift parallel to the floor, or you can keep them on the hips. Stay here and breathe. We also need to create strength in ourselves so that we're more able to let go of what doesn't serve us anymore. And we'll be able then to receive what will serve us in the future. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, bring your palms to touch and then dive forward, coming to your forward fold. Perhaps bending the knees here. Bringing your belly to your thighs. Relaxing the belly. Relaxing the neck. Breathing in and breathing out. Take one breath in. And breathe out through the nose. One more breath in through the nose. And breathe out through the mouth. Shaking the head, nodding the head. All that can make you release even more. Plant your palms, so bend your knees very much so you can plant your palms to the mat, and then one leg at a time, stepping back, coming to your tabletop pose in any way that feels comfortable to you. You're in tabletop pose. Option to stay here. And just breathe, closing down the eyes. And just continue breathing here if you feel that all that movement was already enough. If you want one more movement to really fully let go of that one thing, if you feel there's still some work to do on that, come to stand on your knees for the next one, camel pose. Your toes can be tucked or remain untucked. Option is yours. Again, you can bring something underneath the knees to just feel some more softness in this one. Bring your palms to touch at the heart center. Remind yourself of that one thing that you're releasing today. And with that one thing in mind, take one deep breath as you start lifting your chest up towards the palms, perhaps lifting your forehead just slightly while you push your hips forward, coming to your camel pose. Take one breath in here, releasing that you're letting go of. One breath in and exhale. One deep breath in once more. And as you exhale, returning to the center. Perhaps lowering your hips down towards the heels. Or coming to your tabletop pose, all fours. Wherever you are, close your eyes for a moment. And just feel the effects that those movements had in your body, perhaps in your mind. Breathe with that awareness. And when you've done that, start moving coming to our butterfly pose. So come to sit on your sitting bones, perhaps using a blanket or another support that you have under your buttocks so that your pelvis is slightly lifted. Bringing the soles of your feet to touch, opening the knees like a book. Your butterfly may look like this, or it may look like this. Doesn't matter what it looks like. What's important is that you're here and you're doing these movements. That's yoga. That's yoga. We don't have to make a certain shape to kind of feel important. We just need to be breathing and just connected with our body. Take one breath in here. And as you exhale, you may start folding forward to your own degree. You may move your feet just slightly, forward or back, and folding perhaps even deeper as you exhale. And if you wish, you can open your palms towards the ceiling. And this really nice method I learned from Michelle Goldstein is to imagine that thing, whatever you're letting go of, in the palm of your hands. And for one last time, let go as you exhale. Take a few more rounds of breath here. On your next inhale, start moving, bringing your torso up to your straight spine. And then find yourself in a comfortable seated pose. It can be cross-legged, kneeling, perhaps on a chair. Placing the hands wherever feels most organic to you. Perhaps closing down the eyes. Knowing that releasing, letting go of something can be a huge emotional shift and release. So if you're feeling a bit tender right now, it's completely normal. Just keep breathing with that. Applying compassion, understanding, the kind of understanding and compassion that you have towards possibly your children or your other family members or your best friends. Apply that towards yourself. Now bring your awareness back to your breathing. Noticing the in and the out breath. Perhaps it's deeper, it's calmer. It may be more of something compared to what it was when you started this practice. Now that you've brought your awareness back to this moment, now point that camera of awareness towards the future. And without overthinking it, what is one feeling you want to bring yourself more of? What is one thing you want yourself to have more in your future? What popped into your mind there? Let that just be your answer without trying to manipulate or trying to make it some sort of perfect answer. For some of us, it may be an internal or external experience, or it may be a feeling or an attitude. For some of us, it can be a puppy or a new handbag. It can be anything that you feel that brings more well-being into your life. Whatever popped into your mind there, meditate on that for a moment. And consider how you might bring more of that into your life. Now that you've been able to consider those things for a moment, I would like to invite us all to start making choices from a place of self-compassion, from a place of deep appreciation towards ourselves. Especially in this time where the world is changing and we are facing a lot of things that are unknown, there's no certainty. We truly need to stay compassionate towards ourselves. So let's start making choices from a place of self-love. And especially for you who doesn't feel that it comes naturally, now is a good place to start practicing that. And know that joining this practice and doing it all, however you did it, even if you were just breathing and watching there all this 40 minutes or so, you were with us. You were practicing self-love already. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you got something out of this practice. Let's practice again soon. Namaste.